Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is not here once again, and once again I am wearing the wrong shirt to commemorate the occasion, and thus the trend of me wearing incorrect shirts to talk about different videos continues. But nevertheless, as I figured, because I'm a fan of the Spyro series, I may have brought it up on the channel once or twice or 100 times, but because I am such a fan of the Spyro series, I sat back and thought, what are some of my opinions on the Spyro series that may be unpopular or maybe kind of go against the grain a little bit? So I figured I'd share them with you all and we discuss them. It's time for some unpopular Spyro opinions, at least from me. Now, a couple things before we begin. For starters, these are all my opinions, so if you disagree with any of these, that is totally fine. And in fact, these being unpopular means they likely won't be you guys' opinions, though. They'll kind of go against the grain a little bit, and you know what? That's fine, you know. Oh, but also, let me know in the comments your thoughts, and maybe you have some unpopular Spyro opinions of your own. But also, I'm mainly talking about the OG Spyro trilogy. You might have noticed I like when I talk about Spyro, I mainly talk about the original trilogy and stuff like that. You may be thinking, Nigel, where's all the other games? Spyro's had lots more games than those. They weren't as good, but he's had lot more games than those. And to that, I say, hey, admittedly, it has been a bit. I'll be honest. It's been a bit since I played the other games. Like, hey, I haven't played every single Spyro game in history, mainly because I missed out on the Game Boy era and stuff like that because I didn't own a Game Boy. So I missed and I got my DS kind of late, admittedly into its lifespan, and I didn't get Spyro Shadow Galaxy for the DS. Unfortunately, apparently I didn't miss much, but the Spyro games I mainly played though were like the console releases. So that being the OG trilogy, the Spyro Into the Dragonfly, the Spyro Heroes Tale, and the Legend of Spyro series. I don't think I finished any of the games in the Legend of Spyro series, but I at least played them, so that's something. But yeah, but sadly, like I said, didn't really live up to the hype of the original trilogy. And the original trilogy I'm a bit more familiar with. It's been years since I played those games. Like, I played those games while I was much younger. So, to really give more of the opinions on that and to expand and because when I did this, even when I did the Spiral levels tier list, even that was throughout the original trilogy. Like, I still have a lot more to catch up on. Will I catch up on it at some point? Most likely. Will I enjoy myself? Probably not. But we'll still do it at some point. I'm sure. But yeah. So mainly the original trilogy. That's I think the main reason why I stick to the original trilogy when I talk about this. But nevertheless, that's unpopular Spyro opinions from the original trilogy. And if you guys do go on to enjoy, first of all, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But also, let me know if you guys want me to do more unpopular opinions on other stuff as well. But without further ado, enough rambling. Let's get into more rambling, aka my unpopular opinions. So I have 10, and to be specific, no, this isn't a top 10 list. No, I'm not turning into a top 10 channel, but but I may not do some top tens from time to time. I'm not turning. I promise I'm not turning into Watch Mojo. Man, it's been years since I've seen Watch Mojo. Do they even still upload? I imagine probably, but But I remember I used to Watch Mojo a lot when I was younger, and obviously I don't watch them anymore. But man, I remember I used to watch them a lot when I was younger. But remember the top 10 era YouTube? Weird times. But now it's enough rambling. Now let's get into it. Why simultaneously look up if Watch Mojo still upload. I imagine probably like it'd be hard to take down Watch Mojo. But the first unpopular opinion that I have number one is that the beasts in Alpine Ridge didn't scare me as a kid. And I mean the big yellow beasts. Like, when people talk about childhood trauma or the Spyro series or both, they talk about how the big yellow beasts in Alpine Ridge, it scared them, and how they were so terrified of them and stuff. Me, I never was. Like they never scared me when I was a kid. Was there stuff in Spyro 1 that scared me? Definitely, but it wasn't that. At the three things I think that scared me when it came to Spyro 1. The first being the spiders in high caves, is because uh, because they would come after you and they looked kind of scary as a kid. Especially with, like, the pincers and stuff. Like they look nowhere near as scary in Reignited and everything. And the second ones that scared me, the second thing that scared me was the was the trees that would lunge at you in Misty Bog, like lunge at you almost out of nowhere. But then also the entirety of Dark Passage, which is why whenever I played Spyro as a kid, I never played Dark Passage. Like I would go in, but then just immediately go right back out because I was terrified of Dark Passage. Like when the lights went out and the monsters came out and they were all big and stuff. Something about the silver on, like, the PS1, from, like, the spiders in high caves to the monsters in Dark Passage, the turtle monsters that being like something about them. I don't know what it is, but it just scared me. It scared me really bad as a kid. And yeah, and yes, I can confirm, Watch Mojo, they still upload. In fact, they just uploaded like 14 minutes ago. Apparently. Yeah, so Watch Mojo still going strong, which, I mean, hey, I can't knock the hustle though. But the next unpopular opinion for me is that I liked the bonus characters in Spyro 3. I know a lot of people kind of hit and miss when it comes to the bonus characters in Spyro 3 that they introduced, that being obviously Sheila the kangaroo, Sergeant Bird the penguin, Bentley the yeti, and Agent 9 and the monkey. But me, something about them I think was enjoyable, like having, like, that switch up of gameplay style for the characters, I think, and was pretty cool, and something about it I liked. Were their mechanics always the best? Not really. Did their levels kind of suck? But it's something about it I enjoyed, and the way a number of them, like, interacted with Spyro. I thought it was pretty cool. Maybe it's because I was younger, but even now that I got older, especially now, like, playing the Reunited and everything, I still for the most part like them. Like some of their areas are a bit jankier than I would like, but yeah. So I enjoyed them. But the next thing is that being number three, is that I don't like the permanent super flame aim 100% from Spyro 2. At least more so the fact that it carries over from save to save. The thing is, it has having a permanent super flame as 100% bonus. Like, hey, here's your reward for 100% infinite super flame being very powerful and stuff, I think is a cool 100% reward. But carrying it over from save file to save file seemed like a good idea on paper, but to me it made things way too easy, because I barrel through enemies. I barrel through enemies like I was 03 Triple H. Like the enemies never stood a chance. Like, the boss fights and everything, it made them totally easy. Like Hope, who's probably, like, one if not the hardest boss in the game, in Spyro 2, that is ended up being a total pushover because of the permanent super flame, and it didn't offer a challenge. Like, I wish there was an option to, like, turn it on or off, but you can't really turn it off, and it's more so in Reignite. I still have to see whether or not it works on the original, so I'll have to boot up my PS3 at some point and try a new save file for Spyro 2 to see if it does carry over. But it does make things way too easy, so admittedly not really the biggest fan of it. But unpopular opinion number 4 is that I don't mind the bonus levels from the Spyro games. And so each Spyro game has a bonus level, at least within the original trilogy. The first game has Nasty's Loot, the second game has Dragon Shores, and the third game has Super Bonus Round. I know the bonus areas have caught some flack from people. not always the biggest fans of them, especially Super Bonus Round, because you could tell a bit rushed. But something about it, like with Spyro's 1 and 3 were more so about collecting the gems and stuff. Spyro 2, meanwhile, like Dragon Shore is more like a carnival area. There's a lot of carnival games, so having that and be able to do kind of like fun carnival games, except for that freaking tank one, and man, the trolley mission from Spyro 2 was so nice. They had to stick it in the bonus level too. Yay! Ugh. But especially with Spyro 1 and 3, I think it's because being able to collect so many gems is very satisfying. Like Spyro is as hard a collectathon, so being able to collect thousands of gems, something about it is oh so satisfying. Like maybe that's the only thing tethering me to it, but yeah, I didn't mind the bonus levels. Like they gave you a little bit to do. Like you might have to chase some thieves. With Spyro 3, you got like the different like skateboarding, and you got like the skateboarding area. You got like the submarine area. Of all the places to replicate, why the submarine area? But thankfully, it's not nearly as big, or as like tricky as the one in Lost Fleet, but yeah. For me personally, I kind of enjoyed the bonus levels, but I know a lot of people didn't really, so that's why I kind of considered it kind of unpopular. But again, remember these are all my opinions. And number 5 is that I have always hated the flight levels. I don't know, something about the flight levels I've never really liked. Probably because I suck at them, but also like even as a kid, I never enjoyed the flight levels. I know a lot of people love the flight levels in the Spyro games and stuff like that, and the fact that they carried it over into the later games that I mentioned earlier, like Enter the Dragonfly and Hero's Tale, even if those were not as good, hood in quotation marks, it is nice, but me, I never found myself enjoying them. Like I felt like I played them under duress because I went for 100%, but yeah, I didn't really enjoy them. Now, granted, I especially didn't enjoy the ones in Spyro 1. Spyro's 2 and 3's flight levels actually weren't that bad. They were actually kind of somewhat enjoyable. But yeah, otherwise, I've never really been a fan of the flight levels. Like, it's nice that you get kind of a change up in gameplay and everything. But yeah, I've never really been a fan of the flight levels. But next up, number 6 is that my favorite Spyro 1 level is Dark Hollow. I know for a lot of people, they'll usually point to their favorite Spyro 1 level as being like maybe Wizard Peak or something like that. But for me, I gotta give it to Dark Hollow. I couldn't tell you something about it. Something about it, and I mentioned this in my Spyro levels tier list that I did a while back. So if you haven't already, go check out that video. I mentioned, and maybe it's because it's so calming and peaceful. Like it takes place at nighttime. The music is nice. It's a very short level, but it's very calming. The music is nice. You can really chill and vibe with it. Maybe that's why it's my favorite level from Spyro 1. But yeah, something about it I really do like. So there's that. But number 7 is that I like the skateboarding arenas in Spyro 3. I was surprised to find out how many people didn't like the skateboard areas in Spyro 3. But for me, honestly, the skateboarding, I will say it's a lot better in the original as opposed to Reignite. Like, Reignite, the skateboarding does feel pretty off, but the original, it feels much better. But otherwise, the skateboarding thing I enjoyed. Like, was it kind of trying to cash in on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater success? Yeah, but there was other games that did that as well, and they did it way worse. But something about the skateboarding, being able to pull off a lot of tricks and stuff. The fact that the tricks weren't hard to do, they were easy to do, hard to master more so. But being able to pull off those tricks, get those insane amounts of points, I think was pretty cool. And again, that changing up of gameplay style. Also, you're starting to notice a pattern here with me. Like when gameplay styles are changed up, it can be either hit or miss. Like it can either be a really good thing or a really not great thing. I think with Spyro, when they change stuff up, it kind of could go either way. It usually was hit or miss. Either or the new gameplay style was really cool, like oh okay, I like how they did that, or it really wasn't good. But me, I enjoyed the skateboarding. The skate, although the skateboarding race in Lost Fleet can go jump off a cliff, which you will. You will fall off a cliff a lot in that race. Which is one of the reasons why it sucks, and one of the reasons why did you bring it back for super bonus round? But anyway, number 8 is that I don't ship Spyro and Allura. Like, I know shipping is kind of the thing on the internet where two characters who seemingly aren't really that romantically connected, but you want to see them romantically connected. But me, I never really. I guess I kind of get the Spyro Allura ship that like people wanting Spyro and Allura to be like a couple, like a thing. And if anything, they alluded to it at the end of Spyro 3. Excuse me, when Laura and Spyro were celebrating at the fireworks factory and everything. But me, I never really saw it. Maybe it's because their interactions were never really in like the romantic vein. Like there's the obvious one, the one that's pretty much established, that being Hunter and Bianca and everything like that. But otherwise, Spyro and Allura, me personally, I never really saw it. Like it's not that I dislike either her character. I don't really see them as a couple. Like and it's not because they're different species. He's obviously, Spyro is a dragon and Allura is a fawn. You dork. But I never really. They don't really stick out as couples in mine. Like there are characters that you can tell they definitely meant to be a couple. That were like meant to be a couple, even if they're not officially a couple in canon. But as far as Allura, I never really got that vibe from them. Maybe I'm alone on that, but I never really got that vibe from them. I can kind of see it, but I never really understood it. But number 9 is that if you haven't been following along, I guess number 9 will lay bare. Spyro 3 is my favorite Spyro game. And honestly, it's a toss-up between 2 and 3, but I think I might go with 3 for a lot of the aforementioned reasons, like the bonus characters, skateboarding, stuff like that. Spyro 2 is really awesome, which is why sometimes it's hard to decide. Sometimes I do kind of go back and forth, but like if Spyro 3 is my favorite, Spyro 2 is a close second. I think when it comes to Spyro 3, like the changing up of the gameplay, even if it's not always good, but paired with like the music, because a lot of my favorite Spyro soundtracks come from Spyro 3. I think all that combined makes Spyro 3 my favorite, but Spyro 2 is a very, very close second. Like if you pick Spyro 2 over Spyro 3, I definitely would understand. But if you also pick Spyro 3 over Spyro 2, like I did, then I would also understand. And but the last one is that Spyro is easier to 100% than Crash Bandicoot. And admittedly, this one probably isn't that unpopular. Or like Crash Bandicoot, like I definitely grew up with Spyro the Dragon, but I've also played Crash Bandicoot. I'm not unfamiliar with everyone's favorite shorts wearing orange marsupial. Well, that being said, though, Crash can get pretty difficult sometimes. Spyro is a platformer, but it's definitely more in the exploration and collectathon. Crash is more of like a hardcore platformer, and it can get pretty difficult at times. That's why I haven't even attempted to go for 100% in Crash. Like even Crash fans have stated how hard Crash Bandicoot is to 100%. Again, easy to play, difficult to master. But Spyro, I feel like, is a lot easier to 100%. And I think part of that may be me growing up with it, but also like Spyro, you get multiple hits. Like you get several hits before you inevitably die and stuff like that. And there's plenty of health refills, those in the form of the butterflies that Sparks eats, of course. Or there's not as many like the hidden stuff. It's there, but it's not quite as hidden as like Crash and everything, like there's more the exploration focus as opposed to the platforming focus. So I think that stuff makes Spyro easier to 100% than Crash. But maybe I will attempt to 100% a Crash game at some point one day. And I think I know exactly the game to do it. But that's a story for another time. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications. Every time I upload videos, so you can see as soon as it drops. And let me know in the comments your thoughts on these unpopular opinions. Do you agree or disagree with these? And what are your unpopular Spyro opinions? But thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.